Is this lightsaber worth over $1,500? The lightsaber of the third sister who sought revenge against Darth Vader. Come with me to check it out. Hey nerds, welcome back to the Fellowship of the Nerds. I am your host as always, Luke Walker, and like I said, today we're going to be checking out the third sister lightsaber, the amazing lightsaber from All Sabers, Ultimate Works. This thing is amazing. It's really expensive, as I said, but don't worry, I'll let you know later in the video how you can get this for much cheaper. But this is a lightsaber that you're going to have to wonder if it's worth this money. And like all the Inquisitor lightsabers, you're always asking, do they spin by themselves? I am very sorry to tell you, no, you're gonna have to do it yourself. But this lightsaber has something that's very cool and unique. This is a lightsaber that you're gonna be able to split it and actually have two. So let's do the proper unboxing. I will show you how to access the splitting, and we're gonna come back. I'm gonna show you, besides of showing you outside, I'm gonna show you how this looks like once it's split out. Okay, and under the hood of this lovely and amazing All Sabers Ultimate box, we're going to find, oh, look at that. There's a little bit of something more before we remove the foam. And look at this. This is for you to assemble your stand for this cool saber. So this is pretty freaking cool, if you ask me. Now we're going to put that aside, and under we're going to find, look at that. Look at this beast of a lightsaber. Now, a few things that you're going to see here. Now, this thing in the middle here is our plaque with the little stand thing. And then you're just going to put all of the thing together, and you're going to make your stand with your character plaque. I think that's pretty cool. You're going to get data cables right here. You're going to get your, they're not screwdrivers because they're Allen, but get these and a lot of screws there. And you're going to be asking, what are those screws for? Well, you're about to find out, because they're going to be coming handy with these. And again, you're going to ask, what are these for? Well, this is super cool, but I'll get to that in a little bit. I just want to show you the lightsaber out and show you. Oh, look at that. This comes with Asteria Nano, 2 cores. Maybe you've been looking in the wrong places. Okay, and then look at that. Absolutely cool. Now these, you will see here, the USB covers. This means that you can charge them directly, so you don't have to take out anything to charge. But I'll show you how to access all of this, because this is going to be very, very handy. Now, it is really, really amazing. Before I take it outside to show you in the dark, I just want to show you, look at the insane levels of detail, not only in here, right? But even when you turn it on, see how it turns on, and it follows the LEDs of the blade. Absolutely stunning. It's really, really impressive. I am at all with this one. This one does have a Soundfont that comes with the lightsaber, which is absolutely cool. We have replaced it and we've added our own sounds, but you will get a third sister Soundfont that is very cool. I think it's Kyberphonics, or it sounded like the Kyberphonics version that they did for the rematch for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So I could be wrong, but in any case, we put our own because I just wanted our own quotes, so there's that. But absolutely cool. Let's take it outside, and when we come back, I'm going to show you how to split it, and then I'm going to show you exactly the 2 hilts split apart, because they're really cool.
Hello, third sister.
Okay, so in order for you to be able to split this and access your core and do all those things, you're going to have to start. That's sort of a long process. So you're going to want to open this, and you're going to see, you see those screws all around? You're going to want to remove those. That's 8 in total. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, once you've removed this, you're going to be able to then close them down, and then you're going to want to find these pieces, and these are going to go screwed in here to secure them together. And now that we have secured them, you see here that secure, you can twist. Look at that. Ridiculously cool. Absolutely amazing. Now, let's talk about accessing the core of these. Now, to access the core, this is going to be very simple. As you see here, you're just going to remove the 2 screws that came here. And power has been off, as you would have heard. And that gives you access to your core, which means that you're going to be able to access your SD card. You're going to be able to add fonts and do all that sort of cool things that you're always wanting to do. So this is just then as simple as putting this back in again. You put the little cap for the USB, and just cut my hair. And then you're going to want to screw them back on. And that's it. That's how you access all your core, how you split your lightsaber, and you do all your cool things. Now that we've seen outside, now that you see how you split open the ring, you just twist and wow. There you go. Look at that thing. Absolutely incredible. And of course, if you turn them back on,
Hello, sister.
absolutely ridiculous. This thing is really cool. I cannot tell you how cool this thing is. Now you can use them like this. This will retract if you want to use them like, but even though it doesn't mean anything to you, so like you're still gonna grab them from here, but somehow my head is telling me that they need to be extended. I don't know. That might just be me, guys. But you're going to ask me, okay, we've seen all of this. Is this worth the money? Well, we're do the ratings just to explain to you why it does and why it doesn't. But before we do any of that, I did tell you at the beginning that I was gonna tell you how you can get this for cheaper. So if you go to All Sabers and you get this with the discount code that you're gonna find in the description, Luke Skywalker, you'll see it here as well. You can get, if you only want to get this, you'll get 20% off of this lightsaber. So essentially you're going to be able to knock $300 off of this, just like that. However, if you want to get either this one or any of the other Ultimate Works lightsabers All Saber sells, you get 3, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be used. So if you know someone, oh, I know such and such, they want to get this one, and they want to get, you all get together, you can get an order of 3, and then you get 50% off. You get half of the price slash, which I think makes it worthwhile. But in order for you to know if this is really one that you want to get, let's go over our ratings. Now, when it comes to ergonomics, I'm going to have to say that this is going to have a dual rating. Okay, so when you're looking at it completely or with the full thing, I'm going to give it an 8. The reason for that is because of the gimmick of, you know, you being able to twist it and open, the lightsaber doesn't know when it's all joined. So like it keeps on like twisting and stuff as you hold it. And when you're holding it with two hands, especially if you want to like, you know, twist to like ignite or stuff like that, it becomes nearly impossible. Like you really have to like,
Hello,
you know, do it with the button or do it on when you have it on one hand. So that's, it's good. But because it looks so amazing, right? I have to give it, I kind of give it lower than 8. However, when you have it split, you're going to look at this an entirely different way. And to me, this split is a 9.5. It doesn't get a 10 because this, see, this makes a little bit of a sound, not as you're waving it, but like, I can hear it. So like, it's not 100% perfect, but it's almost perfect. So this will get a 9.5. So like all combined, I would say that this gets, let's be magnanimous and say overall it gets a 9. Now, when it comes to sound, like I said at the beginning, this does come with a third sister sound font, and it's a very nice, solid, loud sound font. We just changed the font because I wanted something different for the front and then for the post stuff. I wanted the now infamous line of the actual Grand Inquisitor.
Grand Inquisitor.
Only but that I have with the sound of this is that it's a bit muffled. Even if you go to any other font.
I am no Jedi.
Is not as loud as I would like. So that kind of takes away the font. But it does come with a solid array of sound fonts, and it does come with one for the character. So in my mind, that gets an 8.5. And when it comes to design, I'm gonna have to admit that the concept of being able to like properly split the sabers in the whole ring saber into two, like you see on the show, I think that's very ingenious. So I would give that part a 9. But because of all the process that it takes to actually do it, that in my mind lowers it all the way to like a 8. And I'm being very generous with the 8 because it really should be a 7.5. But you know, it's so, oh, hold on, I have to do that, and then I have to now I have to unscrew it, now I have to put this now. You know, I wish that it was a bit more, you do this, and that's it. But I do have to recognize that the design is very ingenious. The fact that not only you can split it, but then these come out and the way that they come out, I have to recognize that that's a very ingenious concept. So all around, combine the good and the bad, I'm going to give the design a 9. So in total, this, I'm going to put all of that together, and it's going to give you this total rating. And because it's above an 8, this is going to make it a recommended lightsaber from the Fellowship of the Nerds, which means that yes, it's one that we think that if you can get it with the discounts that we provided, it's really worth it because it's so unique. And part of the attractiveness of this lightsaber is how unique it is, how ingenious it is, and the way to use it. And obviously, you know, because it's Asteria, you can do so many things configuring yourself without really knowing how to program properly of stuff, which I think is always a plus in my mind. So nerd, that's our video for today. I hope that you find that useful. I hope that you find that insightful, that you have a better idea if it's a lightsaber that is worth that money, and it has answered your questions from the beginning if it has, because I think that, you know, when you put everything together, the uniqueness of it, how I think it's really a collector piece, right? Not only because of the price, but also because of, you know, the exclusivity of the design and how it moves. Designs like this, it sort of reminds me of the Rey Skywalker from KR and Corbin. Like, you know, the whole notion that you can actually like rotate the thing and it will do, like, when you really go out of your way to come up with designs that not only are as realistic as we see on screen, but they actually are practical and work on real life, I think that that's always a plus. So absolutely one that we recommend. Nerds, I've been your host as always, Luke Skywalker. Remember, the Force will be with you always. Remember, live long and prosper, and may the odds be ever in your favor, Menelin. And until we meet again, mischief manage. I'll see you around, nerds.